Lagos. A city that never truly sleeps. A city of dreams, chaos, and unexpected stories. Beneath the towering buildings and glittering hotels lies another world, a world of survival. It was early morning. The sun had just begun to rise, casting a warm, golden hue over the city's worn streets. Street vendors were already shouting, their voices blending with the blaring horns of yellow Danfo buses and the distant rumble of Okadas speeding through traffic. The scent of roasted corn and akara filled the dusty air. Amidst the bustling crowd, laying beside an old concrete wall near Balagan Market, was a man forgotten by most, a man named Alex. Alex, a 27-year-old, stood out even in his silence. He was tall with a sculpted, muscular build formed not by gyms, but by years of hard work and survival. His skin was a rich, deep coffee tone, smooth and sun-kissed from days under the open sky. His short, neatly trimmed hair contrasted his harsh environment. His dark, thoughtful eyes held a quiet strength, and his chiseled jawline made it easy to imagine another life he could have lived. A clean-shaven face, a calm demeanor, and yet, he slept on concrete. That morning, Alex was awake before the vendors. He stretched slowly, brushing dust from his simple clothes, a faded white t-shirt, surprisingly clean, tucked into old but well-kept trousers. His sandals were worn thin, but he wore them with quiet dignity. As he stood up, he noticed an elderly woman struggling with a large basket of oranges. Without hesitation, he stepped forward. "Let me help, Mama," he said warmly, taking the heavy basket with ease. She looked up, surprised, and smiled. "God bless you, my son." Alex smiled back. He didn't do it for blessings, just for the peace of it. Every morning, he helped someone. It made the hunger easier. He walked with the old woman to her stall and placed the basket gently. She offered him a small sachet of water as thanks, and though he hadn't eaten in a day, he gave her his last naira instead. "You need it more than I do, Mama," he whispered. Alex walked away slowly, the weight of his reality pulling on him with every step. But still, he stood tall. He passed by a group of young men laughing, mocking his situation. He didn't respond. He passed by a shop owner who rolled his eyes, pretending not to see him. And he passed by a poster of a luxurious real estate ad, a mansion by the lagoon. He stopped for a second. That used to be his dream. Years ago, he was studying civil engineering, top of his class. But his parents died in a car crash, and everything fell apart. The house was seized. No family stepped in. And before he knew it, he was on the street. Still, Alex never let his dignity fade. He looked up at the sky and whispered to himself, "Someday." A group of schoolchildren walked by, one of them dropped a notebook. Alex picked it up and chased after them, handing it back with a smile. One of the kids looked up at him and asked, "Are you a soldier?" Alex laughed gently. "No, just a man." But even in rags, there was something noble in him. As the morning sun climbed higher, casting bright reflections on car windshields and metal shop roofs, Alex found a quiet corner under a mango tree near a pharmacy. He pulled out an old book, Engineering for Beginners. Its pages were yellowed, its corners bent, but he opened it as if it were gold. For a moment, the city noise faded. All that remained was hope. The same hope that would soon change everything. Because on that same street, someone was about to faint. And Alex would once again do what came naturally, help. Unaware that this simple act would rewrite his destiny. The midday sun in Lagos was unforgiving. It beat down on the rooftops, shimmered on dusty pavement, and clung to the skin like a heavy cloak. By now, the streets were overflowing with energy hawkers shouted, tires screeched, and the heat made even the breeze feel tired. Alex had just finished reading another chapter from his old engineering book beneath the mango tree. He carefully tucked it into a plastic bag, then stood, stretching his long limbs. He was about to head toward the car park to find small errands, maybe help carry bags for a few coins, when he saw a crowd gathering near the pharmacy. People murmured in Yoruba and Pidgin. Some were filming. Others just stood, unsure. Then he saw her. Clara, a 22-year-old, tall, slender, and elegant, with flawless light skin, long curly dark brown hair tied neatly, high cheekbones, full pink lips, and wide, intelligent hazel eyes, stood swaying on her feet, her hand pressed to her forehead. She was dressed in a clean nurse uniform, sky blue with white trimming, though now it was dusted with sand. Her posture, once poised, was unsteady. Her elegant frame trembled. One of her white heels was broken, and her breathing was shallow. Without hesitation, Alex rushed forward. People stood aside as they saw him approach, his size, his confidence, his focused expression. While others hesitated, Alex acted. Just as Clara collapsed forward, he caught her gently in his arms. Hey, I got you, Alex said softly. Her skin was cold, sweat beading on her forehead. He knelt, still holding her, his voice calm despite the rising panic around them. She's fainted. She needs water, he called out. A boy handed him a sachet. Alex tore it open with his teeth and gently patted Clara's lips, giving her a few drops. People stared. Some took videos. One vendor muttered, "Fine girl like that, don't faint." But Alex ignored them. Are you okay? He whispered. Clara stirred slightly, her long lashes fluttering open. She blinked slowly, dazed, and then looked up at the man holding her. A soft gasp escaped her lips. Where am I? You're safe, Alex said, adjusting his grip to make her more comfortable. I think. I didn't eat, Clara whispered. He nodded. You need rest. Let me get you somewhere cool. Alex lifted her easily in his arms. Despite the dirt on his trousers and the faded t-shirt on his back, his strength and grace were undeniable. He walked past the crowd, shielding her from the cameras with his broad back. He took her to a nearby bench under a tree behind the pharmacy. There, in the shade, he placed her down gently and removed his own t-shirt, folding it as a pillow under her head. Now bare-chested, his sculpted torso revealed scars, some from labor, some from life. Clara lay with her head resting on his shirt, her eyes now clearer. She studied his face. There was kindness in it. No fear, no pity, just pure concern. Who are you? She asked. A friend, Alex replied. But I don't know you. You didn't have to. You needed help. That answer silenced her. He stood again, grabbing another sachet of water and placing it beside her. I'll be nearby, in case you need something. As he turned to walk away, Clara watched him closely. Despite the dust on his back, he walked like a man with purpose. A man who had nothing but offered everything. And though she didn't know it yet, that moment, that fall, would lead to something she never expected. The sun had begun its descent over the bustling city of Lagos, casting long golden shadows across the worn pavement. The market noises softened, replaced by the distant hum of traffic and the occasional honk of impatient drivers. A gentle breeze finally whispered through the air, cooling the heat that had clung all day. Clara slowly sat up on the wooden bench beneath the tree. Her head still spun slightly, but she felt better. She looked around. There was a water sachet beside her. A pair of street vendors were nearby, watching her but not approaching. Her gaze searched for the man, the stranger who had caught her before she hit the ground. And there he was. Alex was sitting under the same mango tree from earlier, a few feet away, shirtless. His folded t-shirt was still under her head. He didn't watch her, but she could feel that he knew she had awakened. Clara stood up slowly, brushed her skirt clean, and approached him. Hey! She said softly. Alex looked up and offered a gentle smile. You're okay? I think I am. Thanks to you. He nodded, then looked away. There was an awkward pause. She studied him, his calm demeanor, the quiet strength in the way he sat today. Even in silence, Alex seemed sure of himself. I don't think I thanked you properly, Clara continued. You don't have to, Alex replied. You fainted. You needed help. That's all. But most people walked past me. You didn't. He didn't answer right away. Then, maybe they were afraid. I'm used to people ignoring things. I can't afford to. That last sentence stirred something in her. Have you eaten today? She asked. He chuckled. I was about to ask you that. She smiled. Seriously, have you? Alex hesitated, then shook his head. Let me buy you something. Please, Clara insisted. It's the least I can do. He didn't want pity, but something in her tone didn't carry judgment. Only sincerity. "All right," he said. "But only if you eat too." They walked side by side to a small food kiosk just around the corner, where a plump woman sold jollof rice, fried plantain, and meat. The woman raised her eyebrows when she saw Clara and Alex together. Such an elegant young woman with a man dressed like a homeless worker? But she said nothing. Clara paid for 2 plates and they sat on a plastic bench nearby. "Your name?" she asked. "Alex." "Alex what?" He laughed. "Just Alex." She smiled. "Okay, Alex, just Alex. I'm Clara." "Clara. That name fits you." They shared the meal quietly at first. The food was hot and rich with flavor. Clara hadn't realized how hungry she was either. "You're not like most men," she said. "You mean, I'm not dressed like one?" Alex teased, pointing at his dusty jeans and calloused hands. "No," Clara said seriously. "I mean, you have something. I don't know. Integrity." He looked at her then, and for a moment, neither said anything. "You don't know me," he said quietly. "I'd like to," she replied. He didn't respond, but the faintest smile formed on his lips. As the sun dipped lower, Clara checked her watch and stood. "I need to go," she said. "But I'll come back. Maybe tomorrow." Alex stood as well, taller than her despite her height. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "Maybe not. But I still want to." And then she walked away, leaving him staring after her, his heart feeling something strange, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. He didn't know who she really was. And she didn't know the life he had lived. But something had begun. Something real. The next day, Lagos woke up to its usual rhythm, chaotic yet alive. The scent of fried akara floated through the air, taxis honked in discordant harmony, and street preachers shouted salvation to anyone who would listen. Amid the noise, there was an unusual stillness inside Clara, as she stood before her closet, unsure what to wear. Not because she didn't have choices. In fact, her walk-in closet in her luxury Lekki apartment held designer pieces from Paris and Milan. But today, she didn't want to look like a billionaire heiress. She wanted to blend in, just as she had the day before when fate had intervened. She picked a simple long skirt and a plain white blouse. No jewelry. No perfume. She tied her hair into a neat bun. She looked like a regular young woman. Exactly what she wanted. Outside, her personal driver waited, but she waved him off and chose to take a cab. She wanted to feel real. Like Alex, the man whose quiet strength haunted her thoughts since yesterday. She returned to the same street corner. Same bench. Same tree. And there he was. Alex sat shirtless again under the mango tree, scribbling something on a piece of scrap paper. He looked up when he saw her. "You came back," he said, his voice calm but surprised. "I said I would." She held out a small paper bag. "I brought breakfast. Egg roll and malt." He took it with a nod. "Thank you." As they sat and ate, Clara found herself watching him more closely. His hands, though rough and scarred, held a certain grace. His voice, when he spoke, carried patience, measured, thoughtful. "What were you writing?" she asked. Alex hesitated, embarrassed. "Just ideas. I like to write stories sometimes." "You're a writer?" "I want to be," he said softly. "But people laugh when you say you're a writer and you sleep on a bench." She didn't laugh. "I think that's beautiful," Clara said. "You dream. Most people don't." He looked at her for a long time, then asked, "What about you, Clara? You dress simple, but you speak like someone who's not from this world." She laughed, but it caught in her throat. "I'm just a nurse," she lied again, quietly. "Nothing special." "You're kind. That's special." They were silent for a moment. Then, Clara did something bold. She reached into her bag and pulled out a copy of a short novel, a local author's book. "I want to read something to you," she said. And there, beneath the mango tree, she began reading aloud. The story was about a boy who lost everything but kept helping people. As she read, children gathered around. Even some vendors paused to listen. But it was Alex who listened the most. His eyes softened, and a single tear slipped down his cheek. No one had ever read to him before. "You could be the boy in that story," Clara said gently. He looked at her and whispered, "Maybe. But the boy in the story gets a happy ending. I don't think that's meant for people like me." "You don't know that yet," she said. She stood to leave. "I'll be back tomorrow. Same time." Alex stood too. "You're something else, Clara." "So are you, Alex." And with that, she left again, disappearing into the crowd. But this time, she left behind something more than food or words: hope. For Alex, it was the first time someone had looked at him and seen a man with value. He didn't know that the woman who just left him wasn't just kind. She was a billionaire. And everything was about to change. The clouds over Lagos were heavy with rain by early afternoon. The streets were bustling, but everyone could sense it, the kind of storm that didn't ask permission before it arrived. Thunder cracked in the distance. Children were ushered inside. Umbrellas began to bloom like colorful flowers in the streets. But Clara wasn't afraid of a little rain. In fact, she welcomed it. She carried a red umbrella in one hand and a black folder in the other. Inside that folder was something special. Something she had spent all night preparing. Today wasn't just a visit. It was a turning point. When she arrived at the mango tree, Alex was already there, barefoot, organizing the few pieces of paper he had kept dry beneath a small plastic crate. The moment he saw her, his face lit up, but then immediately darkened. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "The rain's coming hard." "I know," Clara replied, smiling. "That's why I came now." She handed him the black folder. "What's this?" Alex asked, eyebrows raised. "Your stories," she said softly. "I typed them, formatted them. I even reached out to a small publishing house in Yaba. They're willing to read your work." Alex looked at her like she had just handed him the moon. "You did this for me? You deserve to be heard, Alex. Your words are important." His hands trembled as he held the folder, shielding it under his thin shirt as the first raindrops fell. The sky finally opened, and the storm began. Without hesitation, Clara extended her red umbrella over them both. The wind tried to snatch it away, but she held it firm. They stood close, faces barely inches apart. Raindrops bounced around them. The world, so noisy and busy, suddenly became still in their small, shared space. "You have no idea who I am, do you?" Clara asked, her voice barely above the rain. "I know enough," Alex said. "You're kind. You see people. You see me." She stared at him for a long moment. Something inside her cracked open. She had hidden her truth for days now. Not out of pride, but fear that he would change the way he looked at her. "I'm not just a nurse," Clara said finally. He tilted his head, confused. "My real name is Clara Izodum. My father owns one of the largest hospital chains in Nigeria. I'm a billionaire's daughter." Silence. Even the rain seemed to hold its breath. Alex blinked, trying to process. "You were testing me?" he asked, softly. "No. I was trying to be seen. Not as a title. Just as a person." She stepped back slightly, giving him room. "If that changes the way you see me, I understand." But Alex didn't walk away. He didn't shout. He just looked at her, really looked. "You didn't lie," he said. "You fed me. Talk to me. Read to me. You gave me hope. That's who you are." Tears slipped down her cheeks, tears not of sadness, but relief. The rain was pouring now. Thunder growled above them. "I don't have much," Alex said, taking a small step toward her. "No roof. No bank account. No family. But I do have honesty. And respect. And heart." She looked up at him, eyes shining. "Then you have everything." Under the heavy rain, surrounded by puddles and street chaos, their hands found each other. Two different worlds. One shared moment. And for the first time, Alex no longer felt homeless. He had found shelter, not in walls, but in someone's heart. 1 week had passed since the storm. Lagos had returned to its usual rhythm, cars honking, street vendors shouting, the scent of fried plantains and exhaust hanging in the air. But for Alex, the world had changed. He had submitted his manuscript. He had bathed, shaved, and borrowed a clean shirt from a kind vendor who had always admired his discipline. He now walked with a kind of cautious hope, like someone who had been blind for years and suddenly saw colors he didn't know existed. And at the heart of it all was Clara, the woman who had seen him not as a vagrant, but as a man worth loving. Today, she had invited him somewhere special. Alex stood outside a tall building in Victoria Island, his palms sweating. He wore a white button-up shirt and dark trousers still slightly oversized, but clean. His shoes were mismatched, but polished. He didn't recognize himself in the glass doors. When Clara appeared beside him, she was radiant, not because of her light beige jumpsuit or her gold earrings, but because of the pride in her smile. "I told them about your writing," she said softly. "They want to meet you. Properly." Alex hesitated. "You mean, the publishers?" "No," she replied. "My parents." His heart dropped. "They don't know about me," he guessed. "They do now," Clara said. And they agreed. "If you're serious, they want to see the man I chose." Inside the penthouse conference room, Mr. Izodum, 56-year-old Nigerian man, 1.85 meters tall, average build, medium brown skin, balding with silver at the sides, stern dark eyes behind square glasses, always in a navy suit, and Mrs. Izodum, 48-year-old Nigerian woman, 1.75 meters tall, curvy with graceful posture, golden brown skin, short curled black hair, soft warm eyes, usually wearing traditional Ankara gowns, were seated beside a glass table. When Alex entered, every nerve in his body lit up. But he bowed respectfully. "Good afternoon, sir." "Good afternoon," he said. Silence. Then, Mr. Izodum spoke. "You've been staying under the mango tree outside my daughter's hospital." "Yes, sir." "You didn't know who she was. Yet you showed kindness." "Yes, sir." "And now, you want to be part of our world." Alex stood tall. "No, sir. I don't want to be part of your world. I want to build one with her." There was silence. A long one. Then, Mrs. Izodum smiled softly. "What's the title of your manuscript?" Alex blinked, surprised. "The Man Who Found Shelter." Both parents exchanged a glance. Clara placed a gentle hand on Alex's arm. "It's not about riches. It's about resilience." That night, after a long dinner, Mr. Izodum called Alex aside. "You remind me of myself when I had nothing," he said. "I'll be watching you closely." "Yes, sir. But I respect what you're trying to do. Welcome to the family." Alex nearly stumbled backward. Outside, as the stars blanketed the sky, Clara leaned against him. "You still think I'm out of your league?" she teased. Alex smiled, holding her close. "I think," he said, "we've both finally come home." True love isn't measured by wealth, titles, or outward appearance. It's seen in the eyes of those who recognize our worth, even when the world sees nothing. Clara saw past the dusty clothes and homeless exterior of Alex. She saw his soul. And Alex proved that the greatest strength lies not in fortune, but in humility, perseverance, and truth. Let this story remind us that appearances fade, but character shines forever. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment your favorite part, and share this video with someone who believes in real love. Would you have done what Clara did? Tell us in the comments. Let's spread hope, one story at a time. Thank you for watching and see you for the next videos.